Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan, and today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon where I talk about their movies, of course, all their TV shows or what have you, I guess. So, of course, there's gonna be another case of the stupid, because this dumb shit just keeps going and going. Oh boy, my faith in humanity is fading, of course. Because I'm again talking about this jackass over here because he has nothing else better to do. Oh boy, I guess before I get to the main topic here is that some updates here. There's this. So of course, DeSantis, he's really trying to help himself. Of course, when it comes to this lawsuit against him, he's trying to rescue himself by saying something in regards of conflict of interest. The lawsuit filed by Disney, the Disney theme park and resorts U.S. corporation on Wednesday has stated that he's definitely he's trying to have a target against when it comes to the government itself and would violate the Fourth Amendment's rights and whatnot. So okay, so the thing is that Disney isn't violating anything like whatsoever. And it doesn't seem like DeSantis wants to rework the government in his favor. It sounds like communism we think about it, but okay. Another thing I want to bring up like real quick as well is, and it's this right here, folks. Yeah, it looks like around this time what it's saying when it comes to this report. Yeah, the Wall Street Journal, Republicans and Democrats in this place, I guess, are concerning over that he's no match for this entertainment giant. Stated that Disney itself, the company, is being yeah, they put it bluntly that they're going to play the long game, whatever that means. And this company has been around for quite some time. They're not going anywhere. So, like I said, I'm just trying to bring up a few things here before I go to the main topic here. And yes, of course, this entire thing is just absolute asinine because none of here makes any damn sense whatsoever. Ugh. But something else I want to bring up real quick as well again is that the whole thing with Bud Light and whatnot. Yes, the supposedly wokeness that Disney company and they are doing for supporting the LGBT plus community. Even though the fact that both companies have been supporting the LGBT plus community for more than 30 years, and now you stupid asses are now realizing this, man, you're slow. Uh, they've been doing this for quite a while. So what are you talking about here? This makes no sense. But anyway, but yeah, this in regards of the just continuing to have some sort of grudge against Disney, just because they were criticizing him for the fact that they want to take lots of control over what they're gonna do or with their theme parks up over there in Florida. Yeah, boy. Yes, of course. There's this. Obviously, he still was going at it. He doesn't want nobody to criticize him, obviously, because I guess he knows everything. So yeah, there's definitely plenty to talk about. So yeah, the don't say gay bill is still a thing for some reason, and that's the thing. It will play to what I'm talking about in a moment, but yeah, there's definitely quite a bit when it comes to this guy. And it's not just the Disney stuff, of course, is what I'm saying. There's plenty of other things to speak about, of course. Yeah, it's the whole Disney feud with this guy. It's the whole reason I'm covering him, obviously. But still. And just like this thing keeps going and going and going for some reason. None of this makes any sense. Okay, that's obvious. But even older movies will still be on attack because they're trying to indoctrinate kids by using drag queens in some movies, apparently. What? And that's not what's going on. Oh boy. It's just that people, keep jumping the gun for some absurd reason. I guess that's one way to describe this entire thing. People jumping the gun. All right, let's just go to the main thing I want to talk about because it's really stupid. But here we go.
Just be able to be kids without having somebody's agenda shoved down their throats.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Well, again, that's a damn lie right there. Because if there's anybody doing that, it's you Christians. You Christians are doing that kind of a thing. Yeah, funny you would say that, but the thing is that, yeah, what about this guy, this creep? Yeah, he's done quite a few questionable things when you think about it, and No one's doing anything about this. So give me a break. At least you Christians aren't anyway. So it's just ridiculous. Come on.
It is wrong to teach a second grader that they may have been born in the wrong body.
Again with the lying. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, like at all. And again, if a kid does feel that they feel they're different, they would know. I could, Christ, I could do an entire video about this alone. Jesus Christ, this is stupid.
It is wrong to teach students that gender is a choice.
So you mean to tell me that straight people, even though being trans is nothing to do with sexuality, but you mean to tell me that nobody has ever had a leg amputated, their eardrum fixed, got some glasses, and so on and so forth? That's bottom office cases right there, but you say nothing about that. You realize that people get their heads, repaired, you get some serious damage and to their skull or something. It's not fixing the body. What about the fact that they need to remove a toe for whatever reason? Maybe there's infection or something. And and also, what if they need to take some medication because they have some virus in the bodies? So isn't all that plus some other things modifying the body in some sense? Taking medication and such? It seems like kind of this thing called yeah, Parkinson's disease. Don't you take medicine for that? Isn't that in itself body modification to some extent, I guess? But nobody says anything about that, like at all. But you get mad at trans people, though. Okay, that makes sense somehow.
And we don't allow that in Florida. And the left didn't like it. A lot of the media didn't like it. And Disney didn't like it. But we govern the state of Florida, not them.
What? How is it that you feel like you're being discriminated against when the trans community and the other LGBT individuals you're discriminating against them? But you acting as if they're going against you because what? You're not the victim here. You're causing them to fight against you because you're a bigot. Then you act as if it was their fault for criticizing you. What are you talking about?
All right, Ron DeSantis on the campaign stump in Maryland here, but speaking before the Heritage Foundation, but he's made it very clear that these issues, woke issues that he has been championing in Florida will resonate, even though at this point they're not resonating with him in the polls. Now, he hasn't come out the gate yet to say he's running for president, but right now Donald Trump is lapping him in some of those polls.
Christ almighty. Again, what does any of this have to do with Disney? Somebody wants to run for president. They have the right to do that if they want to. Sure, whatever. Y'all just don't want people in power that will support the other team because you're scared that you might be discriminated against, which of course is not what's going on here, like at all.
In that race. So let's get the read from Jimmy Patronis, the Florida CFO. Jimmy, good to have you back with us. How is this issue resonating for the governor back home, including the renewed fight with Disney?
So, Neil, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I remind people that we have a thing in Florida, and it happens around in politics called legislative intent.
I know my ABCs. I can count to 1 to 3. Waters win. Don't be so damn condescending. I know how that shit works. And what's going on here is that what really is going on here is that you guys are just afraid that times are changing, and you guys can't adapt to change whatsoever. You're just afraid of that. You don't like it if something is different than you. You acted as if it was somehow a stab toward you guys for some reason, which in reality makes no sense when you think about it. But okay, whatever.
And Disney started doing some virtue signaling. Bob Chapek's scalp is on the wall now. And the legislature was brought to light over a 50-year operation that they didn't know that had an autonomy board to it. So the legislature made the change. This was their legislative intent. And then Disney decided to provoke the legislature and the governor with this ninth hour action. So again, Disney started this most recent fight. And I think Bob Iger should step up and try to bring it in for.
Oh, for the love of shit. Nobody is discriminated against you at all. That's not what's going on. You dumb sack of shit. Just because. You have no idea how that feels like at all. You moron. So yeah, there's even people up in Florida who support the LGBT plus community who are protesting against what's going on over there. So it's not like Disney's completely alone here, obviously not. So that's good news, obviously. So at least somebody's trying to do something. Of course, having diversity, having everybody get together and whatnot, it's not a weakness. It's not a bad thing here. Over here, like at all. You mean to tell me somehow these individuals are coming after your family? Well, based on what? Doing this or supporting these people does not make you a bad person whatsoever. Like at all. There's plenty of bad things, actual real life bad things that's going on in the world as of right this second. Like the Shell company, there was some quite questionable. The people, yeah, the Shell company doing something quite questionable up in somewhere in Africa. Let's just say he's not good news whatsoever. And there's those also the communist China, whom is basically doing like some sort of debt trap against somewhere over there as well by forcing them to pay up, so to speak, because they're trying to get as much money from us as possible. Stuff like this is very questionable, and none of the Christians are doing anything against them. The actual bad people who's doing something despicable against who doesn't deserve it, really. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, you know more about whether this will ever be resolved, but I am wondering, though, because even some of his potential challengers, if he were to join the presidential race, Jimmy, have said, uh, however it looks to you, it looks to them like a conservative governor trying to tell a company what to do enforcing the issue, something that, Republicans generally criticize Democrats and liberals for doing. Whatever the message there, do you think this risks boomeranging on Governor DeSantis?
Boomeranging? Oh boy, that made you sound like old as shit. And I'm over 100 years old, so I guess technically I'm older than you. But anyway, of course, blame the liberals. Of course, it's everybody else's fault except your own, right? You don't want to take personal accountability because, again, like I was saying earlier, these people just don't like change at all. They're just stuck in the past and just don't want to grow from there. You are not the heroes here. Like, you are not the heroes whatsoever.
Well, I know that Governor DeSantis, myself, the whole entire cabinet, we won this last election cycle by 20 points. It's the largest margin by the history ever in the state of Florida. We turned Palm Beach County red. We turned Miami-Dade County red. So there's definitely some momentum behind the governance of how this governor has led.
Oh, Christ almighty. You're acting as if that you have to take a stand against Disney because somehow the traditional family values is threatened here because they're supporting the gays. You have not brought up any valid criticism towards Disney for doing this. Just comes off you all you're doing just fear mongering. You're just making shit up to make this entire thing seem worse than it really is. What's going on here? Why? What?
I think, look, this mess got started because Disney engaged. And again, I think there's a way to bring it in for a landing, and Disney's lobbyists are engaging, but I think they should be engaging to make sure that this thing comes in for a landing. Remember, this was a family operation. We had a relationship with these guys
Right.
for 50 years. It wasn't until recently that they provoked, and again, that's why, Iger's there and Chapek's gone.
Why are you acting as if this was some sort of betrayal? Yeah, there were gay people working for Disney, even way back in the day, during the 50 years or so, like you just mentioned. And it's not a recent thing. This is not brand new. They've been doing a whole gay day thing since 1997. So that's roughly 30 years right there. Yeah, they're acting as if that this kind of a thing it literally sprung out of nowhere. It sprung out literally out of the blue somehow. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? This was always a thing. It's been a thing for years. Anyway, what's going on here is that yeah, people at Fox News or whatever, these kind of religious individuals are just trying to manipulate the situation and manipulate the the public, I guess, on an emotional level, to make it as if that they're in the right, which of course they're completely in the wrong. You think about it. In other words, what I'm trying to get at, they're trying to manipulate the public sympathy. Bottom line, what I just to simplify is what I just said there. That crazy people do that. When you think about it, crazy people do that kind of a thing. It's you.
Right. Now, I know the former CEO and now Bob Iger. And do you worry, though, I guess, and I know this has been coming up a lot, I read a lot of the Florida press, that, Disney is still a beloved company here. And whatever the strategies here, the governor's made it clear, you've made it very clear how much you find its endorsement of that, don't say gay, opposition to that.
What's so sickening about anything? The only thing that's sickening here is your point of view. Your religious rights are not being taken away here, like whatsoever. Nothing is being taken away from you, like at all. So yeah, this isn't. It's not really about that. Of course, keep hearing about this nonsense. Is that somehow the LGBT plus community is somehow attacking people about using these groups of individuals using malicious intent and violence to oppress people, and somehow the LGBT plus community are the aggressors. Somehow, what? What are you talking about? And yes, of course, these would be the type of Christians that would tell people who can enter some sort of like any kind of Olympics and whatnot because they want to apparently control what's right and wrong because they apparently know everything. When in reality they don't like at all. Because it goes into what I was just saying a moment ago. They're just accusing the LGBT plus community, foreigners, or just anybody they don't like as something like fascists, which of course is not the case here. They'll just attack these individuals to be some sort of brutes over nothing. Yes, it kind of reminds me of what happened way long ago with Proposition 8 argument. Oh boy, I remember that. Christ. That's not what's going on here, though. Like, at all. So when you think about it, you have to think about in the some historical perspective context here when you think about it. Of course, when it comes to like Proposition 8 has pretty much made people fight against this kind of community. For what? Again, just out of nothing. Just fear. Nothing but fear whatsoever. It just feels like history is repeating itself, at least to some extent. Well, it's rhyming anyway, so whatever.
It still looks like the governor's trying to strong arm a company. How do you respond to that?
Again, I'll go back. Disney engaged the most recent round of antagonizing events that have taken place.
Right.
Disney, yeah, they did it in the sunshine, but you know what? Again, they went against legislative intent, and the legislature is meeting right now.
Again, what are you talking about? No one is trying to do something in the Senate, in the legislation, and just have control over it to take your rights away. That's not what's going on. Like, at all. If anybody's taking anything away from anybody, it's you. Christians like you that's doing that. That's a certain place in Africa, like we mentioned earlier in the video. To be more specific here, Nigeria, I believe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's a whole oil bit. That's oh boy, yeah, just the shell companies that's been corrupted, greed and whatnot. Yeah, this is a problem. Look more into it if you have to. Go ahead. So there's a serious moral problem going on. You're not trying to help anybody out. You're just trying to help yourselves out. So you're not really about family values, nor the kids. You just want to control everything, and that's it. It doesn't exactly help that their government is also corrupted itself, and also they have an inflation problem to make this even more worse. Oh boy.
Now, the governor is in power right now. Their
But if
timing
costs
was
go
their
up,
timing.
I
but
guess, Jimmy, but if costs go up for people in the area and they have to pay for things that Disney used to pick up the tab for, I know the governor did win and in a landslide reelection. Could it hurt him in the very state that he wants to prove to the world he has run, very well?
What? What are you talking about? The only people that's been hurt are the LGBT plus community. That's it. You guys, Christians like you, are not the people in danger. Like at all. You act like you are. You just don't want them to have some sort of influence of any kind whatsoever.
Well, and this is what I've been incredibly sensitive to. I've been around this process about 18 years. The one thing I did not want to see is any of the bonds and debts that Disney had incurred over the last 50 years be saddled on the counties around them. The structure of the changing governance basically ensured Disney still pays those bills. So that was very important. Now, again, the governor is now looking at what options that new governing board has.
What the hell are you even talking about, dumbass? They're already doing that. They're already paying for this and that. They're supposed to. This doesn't make any sense because when you think about it, they would have lawsuits up their asses by this point. In that case, if they weren't, well, we're talking about these individuals. This bunch, a bunch of nimrods when you think about it. But okay.
Yeah, he's flirted with some ideas out there to get Disney's attention or try to undo some of these King Charles type of agreements. So again,
All right.
I think the saber rattling needs to go away, and the men need to sit down and iron this out.
All right, we'll watch it closely. Thank you for updating us, Jimmy. I was curious how all this is going down, the back and forth, and Disney saying this and you guys saying the other. Jimmy Padonis, the Florida CFO.
You're mumbling. You're really All right. Okay. Anyway, okay. You're not really saying nothing anyway. Even if when you were able to say something worthy, you were not really saying nothing worthy anyway. When you think about it, because considering the fact that this entire thing is a nothing sandwich. It's a nothing sandwich. Oh boy. And yes, that's how the little report thing, what do you even call this? That's how it ends with it. This is bad journalism. At least I think it's supposed to be journalism. Now they're trying to do some sort of news report and whatnot. But like I said, they're trying to do some sort of smear campaign to make it as if like it's really politically charged when it comes to anger and whatnot. While, of course, wanting to protest, that's not a bad thing, okay? And I'm not saying you shouldn't protest. Of course, you have the right to do so. However, displaying any kind of violence on either side of the argument can be a bad thing. Of course, nobody should hurt nobody. I mean, at least you even think about it. At least you have to, self-defense. Of course, you have no other choice, sure. But the thing is that they're trying to, yeah, there's lots of things that's wrong. You're even thinking about it. There's no getting indoctrination. That's not what's going on. But they're acting like there is. That's not what's going on whatsoever. Of course, it's the whole age thing. Well, like a lot of people would just say that, but the church would go into that kind of an exploit this kind of attitude, the age crisis, into thinking and to make people think that the whole entire thing with age is because of the gay people. That's not a thing that seems to make no sense, like whatsoever. Yeah, they're making it as if that you can't be pro family and pro gay at the same time, and you can't have no mores apparently. What? Yeah, this entire thing makes no sense. Like, I'm okay. Nothing here makes any kind of sense whatsoever, folks. This is stupid. No, of course it's dumb. But yeah, of course there's gonna be a lot of the LGBT plus people that went through some sort of harsh experience, of course. And some people may feel like it was the rite of passage, so to speak, to go through this some sort of discrimination, of course. And another thing, I'm not trying to spin the wheel that, hate the media, when you can actually become the media and do better. That's what I'm trying to say in a lot of ways. Do something about it, of course. But yeah, that's kind of the thing, though. A lot of these individuals are trying to demonize the LGBT plus community in one way or another, of course. So just I don't know. So you can't be a child of God and be gay at the same time. I mean, why not? Anyway, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah, later. I don't know anymore.